I am slowly falling apart. I feel like I'm hanging on by a thread, and it's been very hard for me to maintain my home. And chances are, if you clicked on this video, you feel the same way. So, today I'm going to be talking about how to clean when life is overwhelming. And I just want to show you how overwhelming I was. This is how I was before I started this video. I didn't even want to do my hair. Look at it. Yeah, so anyhow, before I started the video, I had to force myself to even brush my hair because life has been so chaotic for me. I literally don't even feel like taking care of myself, but alas, at least my hair looks better. So here is the state of my room, and I'm just going to tell you what's been going on briefly. I don't really want to trauma dump, but I just want to give you an insight onto why I feel like my life is so overwhelming and why it's been hard for me to maintain my home. So it all started in 2024 when I had my last baby. A few months after having him, he started developing eczema. And you think, oh, eczema, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a few dry patches on the skin. But I soon learned that it can be very debilitating. It gets so bad that sometimes he scratches all night long to where he's bleeding on the bed. I've had to replace my sheets multiple times. The sheets behind me actually probably need to be replaced because he scratched so hard that he bled on them. Sometimes his skin is oozing, sometimes it gets infected, and he just can't sleep. I can barely put him down without him crying. I can barely even drive without him scratching. It's been very hard. He sleeps for 30 minutes to an hour, and then he wakes up and I have to sleep with him. I sleep while holding him so that I can hold his arms down when he wakes up and starts scratching. So it's been very tiring, which is why my room is in such disarray, but that's okay because we are addressing this today. But before I talk about the practical ways to get your house clean when your life is so chaotic and overwhelming, I want to talk about some attitudes that need to be addressed first. And the attitudes that I'm going to be talking about actually come from other people because I'm not a genius. I learned from others, okay? So, the first thing that you want to address or realize is that care tasks are morally neutral. I don't know about you, but often for me, when my house is in disarray, I look around and I get really down on myself and I say, oh my gosh, I'm such a bad housekeeper. I am not good at this. This is just horrible. How could I let this happen? And that is not the best attitude or approach to take, apparently. I read that shame is not a good motivator. And that is so true. I don't know about you, but I'm a Christian, and in the Bible it says there is now no condemnation to those in Christ Jesus. So I know that God is not a person of that likes to shame people. So why am I always shaming myself for my downfalls and my shortcomings? I don't know. But yes, we need to address that. Clutter is morally neutral. It's okay. It can be cleaned up. Yes, indeed. The next thing we should shift our minds to realizing is that good enough is perfect. I don't know about you, but I often fell into the trap of wanting things to be perfectly clean or maybe not spotless, but just I would spend hours cleaning my room just for it to get back to where it was, and also I would be burned out. Okay, so I'm getting away from doing that now. I am just getting things to good enough. I'm getting it to a state where I can function better in it. I am changing my attitude to realizing like these spaces are there to serve me. And I'm thinking about like, okay, it's a mess right now, but how can I help it function better for me? So for me, what I'm doing in my room right now is just making sure that well, not making sure, but I am clearing the floor. Okay, so I am just putting all the clothes, whether they're dirty or clean. Sometimes if it gets this bad, I can't identify which is which. So I'm just getting most of the clothes and I'm just putting them in the basket. I'm putting the trash in the trash. Like I am not sorting through every little detail at this point, and I'm just getting the floor clean. Okay, that is the point. So, yes, it's just especially important to remember that when you're going through a season of life that is just overwhelming because, you're not going to have time to get your house to looking Pinterest perfect. Maybe there will be a time in the future where your house can look like that, but when you're overwhelmed, good enough is perfect. It's just right. And those are actually a few principles from the book titled How to Keep a House While Drowning. So I found that book while researching like how to keep your space when you're overwhelmed, and this book popped up a lot, and so I read summaries of it, and I found a lot of the principles that were summarized very helpful. So you might want to check that out if you feel overwhelmed. Maybe one day I'll read it, but right now, I'm just trying to survive, honey. So, yes, on to what I'm doing to practically get my space in order. And I already mentioned this is number one, I was just getting the floor clear. I pretty much just made piles of all of the stuff that I had collected on the floor. And my number one goal was to just get it off the floor. So I put the clothes with the clothes in a basket. No sorting. Well, if I did sort, it wasn't that much. I put the trash in the trash. I put the toys that did not belong in my room in a little bag to give them to the kids to deal with. And I took their clothes and I just threw them in the hallway for them to put in their dirty clothes. And now I'm moving on to surfaces. I'm just collecting like with like in a bin. So I have all of these topical ointments and creams and such that are for my son. And I just got a bin. I just stuffed them in this little basket here. And as you can tell, I am not going to be wiping off any surfaces right now. I'm literally just trying to get things that didn't belong on that desk. And let me just tell you, this house is a fixer-upper. This desk is a fixer-upper. So if you see my room and it looks kind of crazy, okay, just keep in mind this house is a fixer-upper. But anyways, yes, I'm just trying to clear the surfaces off. I'm getting any trash that doesn't belong, throwing it in the trash. And that was some lotion that was given to me that smells good. But hey, my baby's sensitive and I can't wear it. So, that sucks. Anyhow, so I have some paperwork that needs to be sorted, but I'm just going to put it in a pile and neatly stack it up. So I'm just getting everything cleared off so that it looks less overwhelming and I can have a sense of peace when I look at it. So, visual clutter, I really don't like visual clutter. So I'm just trying to handle that and do it as quickly as possible. And sometimes this is really hard because, my child, he doesn't really want to be put down a lot. So I am glad that I read what I read about good enough being perfect because I can't get things perfect, especially when he doesn't want to be down. So this is what it looks like now. I don't have much time to do much, but at least it looks better. I am going to change the sheets because they're bloody, but the floor is a lot clearer, and those are the piles of clothes that I was talking about. There is some things over in the corner that I need to deal with, and I need to wash a lot of clothes, and that was their stuff that I threw in the hallway. But that's all I have time for. So thanks for watching. Bye!